Hello VRay users, Alex here, your VRay guide, and welcome to the VRay Masterclass 2011 Architectural Visualization Tips and Tricks. This is the first webinar session. I got your works, I got your questions, and today I'm going to answer them, and I'm going to show you how to improve your works, all live of course. And the first question is from Andres. He's asking, he's working with the daylight system of 3D Max and he's not getting really nice, really satisfying results. So he said, first of all, I'm trying to get stable standard scene in VRay. It works at the first very well. The VRay sun parameters for the sky model is CIE clear snap 1. So let's go and see that snap here, those snapshots of Andreas that he sent us. So I need to open first Photoshop, of course. Without Photoshop it doesn't work. And here we go. You can see also test with HDRI, but we will review them a little bit later. So this is the first test. Well, we can see the daylight system applied. We can see that there is, I'm not sure if you're using VRay materials, but I can already say that the GI and the final gather and the global illumination is not distributing properly here. And that's the reason why I'm not recommending to work with 3D Max daylight system. What I recommend is actually to work with VRay Sun, VRay Sky, and VRay Physical Camera. VRay got their own daylight system, not that accurate as 3D Max, because in 3D Max you can set up exactly the hour and the place, and I think even the season of the year for that particular place. You can choose it on the atlas, on the map, and by selecting it you can give the exact parameters. But it might work good with Mental Ray and with 3D Max, but I'm not sure it's the best way to work with VRay. So my recommendation will be to work with VRay Physical Sun and VRay Physical Camera, a Sky that comes together with a good attachment between them, and of course VRay Physical Camera will work physically correct with those guys. Alright, so I'll have here second snapshot, and let's see what it says. After that I change it to Prism Snap 2. The sky looks a little bit darker, but the difference is not not so great. Okay, well, yeah, the reason is that the results is not so great because well, it's not that physically correct for the VRay Physical Camera. Okay, so I'm not sure that this is the right way to work, because I never work with it. I mean, I tried, but the result with VRay Physical Sky and Sun was way better and way satisfying. Okay. The sky is great. The next step with the child is HDRI. Okay, so let me show you how I set up my my exterior with the VRay Physical Camera, and then we move to HDRI. I prepared here a little test scene. As you see here, it's 3,000 centimeters, so it's like 30 meters on 30 meters plane. In the center I got also a sphere, which is 500 centimeters. So okay, let's add a VRay camera, physical camera, right here. I'll press Z into order to zoom to bring all those objects, and I'll put the target in the center. Okay, and I'll press the show safe frame mode, because this is how the best way to view it. and I need to activate. If I'll press render, I will not see anything because I need to activate my VRay. I need to launch the VRay license, of course. Without them it will not work. So I have activated my VRay. I'm gonna turn the GI. I'm gonna do the test render, and well, as you see here, all black. Now I'm going to add a sun. VRay sun. It's all basic, it's all default. I didn't do anything, as you saw. I just opened 3D Max, activated VRay, and activated the global illumination, and now I'm adding the sun. And it asked me if I want to have a VRay sky as environment. I say yes, of course. And then what happens is, as you see here, you can watch this window, which is as I move the sun, my my illumination settings being changed. So let's do a quick render right now and see what we got. Right, here it is, already nice results. You see here, I'll duplicate it, and as I move the sun upwards, I'm getting actually changing the light illumination, the light settings, and it's worked the same as a daylight system. So as I move up, I get a different hour of my daylight. So I would not recommend you to go beyond the 45 degree angle, because it's a classical angle of architecture visualizations. Something like that will give you really burned out. High sun will not give you like nice shadows and will not provide you with nice results. So if you want, you can go ahead. If you live in Middle East or like really hot countries, this is a really typical sun illumination, where the sun is really strong and the exposure is also strong. But remember, not to overdo it, not to overexpose your images, because then it will look not that correct. Okay. Another thing is, if you notice here, I'm working all default, all linear multiply, all 1:1, without subpixel mapping and without clamping out the colors. So you want to leave the clamp out colors in order to have a wide range of pixel depth. Okay, and this is what I mean by saying that. Let's just save our render to our computer here. Delete this and this. So let's just call it test, and let's save it here. Let's just call it test 1, and save it as a JPEG, for example. Okay, save it as JPEG. Let's just lower a little bit our sun down, 45 degrees, something like that, to get a classical architectural angle, and re-render the image. See what we get. As you see, although it's default parameters and everything is like really high, the render goes in 19 seconds because we don't have much of a detail in this scene. It's only in the ball and in the background. But you see the sky and the sun got really nice response to each other. They got really nice connection. So every time I move the sun to different directions, the sky is changing. Okay. So let's see what we've got. We rendered, and if we open this, if we press a preview, we can see that it's not exactly what we have made here. Okay, and this is because we did not activate, we did not save the image as HDRI, as 32-bit channel. It's the perfect working space, you know, for that reason. So let's just call it test2, save it, and we can re-render it because the renders goes really fast in 15 seconds. And open this with Photoshop and see what the result is. Okay, here we are. Now we can drag it into Photoshop, and voila, we got 32-bit channel. You can see here it says 32-bit channel. It's full controllable. You can change the gamma, you can change the exposure. You see, without re-rendering your image, you can fix your gamma if you want it to be a little bit darker. So this was the image. See, we get more nice, way better shadows and everything. So if you want to work in this linear space, you just remember to save your images as HDRI. You can also save it as OpenXR. You will get the same result, but the sky will not be in this image. Therefore, you need to render all the render elements, all the passes, and then combine it into one image. Okay. If you noticed, I did not activate the VRay frame buffer. If I'll activate the VRay frame buffer, and I'll render this image one more time, you'll see that it's rendered exactly as the first JPEG. So if you want to use VRay frame buffer, just remember to click the sRGB button, and voila, you will get the same image as your 3D Max frame buffer, and you will work in the linear space correctly viewed with your VRay frame buffer, right? So this is the way to go. Just remember, save HDRI, and don't save JPEGs, because JPEGs will not provide you with the satisfying result. They will not in correct linear space. If you want to work with JPEGs, then probably you need to set up your output to gamma 2.2, because my input, I'll just show you my preferences, my gamma. This is how I set up my 3D Max. Enable gamma load correction and load state with 3D Max. This ticked. I'm working with gamma 2.2, so my monitor, my 3D Max calibrated to gamma 2.2. I ticked my effect colors and effect materials. This refers to the material editor. So these ones also must be ticked. So my input gamma is also 2.2. So every image, everything that comes into 3D Max will be with gamma 2.2 applied to it. Okay, but my output gamma is 1. So if you want to work with JPEGs and PNGs, you can set it to 2.2, and I think it will be just fine. Okay. All right. So in addition to that, I also prepared some presets that you can use. As you see here, I prepared 2 daylight scenes, and I've prepared also sunset, evening, and night scenes. It will be free for download in this PDF right here. Those exterior scene setups. So just press this link. After the webinar, I will send you this PDF file. You can press the link and download those scenes. Okay, so let me just show you what are those scenes all about. I'll make a render. Oh, just a second, I forgot to activate the global illumination here. So here it is, global illumination is on. And as you see here, it renders pretty fast. that's the first day system. As you see here, really nice response with VRay sun, VRay sky. I got nice vigneting, darker corners going on here. And if I select the VRay camera, this is the only thing that I adjusted here. You can see that my white balance is a little bit yellowish. Why is that? Because I would like to remove the yellowish color from the rendering. So this is what the basically what the white balance does. This color balance here, it's called white balance also. It removes the color that you select. So just to give you a quick example, if I'll put it on white, by default it's supposed to be white, and I'll re-render this and just duplicate it so you'll be able to see the difference. Well, you can already see that my scene got yellowish, greenish colorization. But if I'll bring it back to yellow, so I'll be removing this yellow pigments from this scene, and this is the result that I get. Okay. So by adjusting color balance, you can get your exact, your accurate balance of the scene, temperature of the scene. So every scene got its own temperature, and this is the way to measure it, is by adjusting the color balance. I'll show you in the next tutorial how you can measure your white balance, how you can pick the correct color. But for right now, let me just show you another day system that I set up here. I'm just gonna activate the indirect illumination. I'm gonna press render. So you see this one got a little bit yellowish. It's more, I think it's more European or something like that, because in hot countries they got like really strong bluish, and in Europe and other countries, I mean colder countries, they got like yellowish because the sun is not so intense, the sun is not so strong. So for this matter, as you see here, I picked the bluish color for the white balance, and that's why I'm getting that yellowish colorization going in my scene. Okay, if not tested, I also adjusted the camera, the film ISO. I lower it to 80. So the film ISO basically controls your exposure. The higher you go, the more exposed your image will be, and the shutter speed also controls it, but it brings your intensity down. So this one is more for exposure control, and this one is more for intensity control. So if you want to smoother your exposure, you can work your shutter speed. Okay. In the next sessions, there will be probably more explanation about getting the VRay camera. Okay. So let me just duplicate this, and let me show you another preset that I've pre-made for you. Okay, this one is evening. I like to put the sun behind the buildings, so in evening, like past noon, before the sunset, it's or like on the sunset, you can see the sun is like almost going down. It's really nice illuminations going on when the sun is behind the object, so you can bring it looks like a little bit more dramatic. So if I just go here, duplicate, and we see the camera parameters, you see here the white balance is greenish, because the whole scene was greenish, and I removed this color and I stayed with a little bit of a purple. the shutter speed is 30 in order to prevent those high exposures, but the film speed is 200, so it gives me like really nice exposure on the object. Let's see another one. And this is the night. So here in this scene you can see that camera got yellowish, so it yellowish color balance, so that the whole scene is gonna get this nice blue purple illumination. The sun is pretty low. I'll select the sun here. The sun is pretty low, and the sun multiplier is 0.03, because the default is 1, but by lowering sun intensity you can get a really nice night evening illumination. Okay, and the last one is the sunset. Oops, the sunset. Here it is. As you see here, the sun has been directly pointing at the object. And the camera settings, as you see here, it's really yellow here, and the shutter speed is 500, so it gets really smooth exposure with no overbrightened areas. We almost don't see any shadow going on here because it's set on the sunset. The shadows are being really long. Let me just show you the difference between this color balance and the second one. So you see, this looks not that natural. Lots of green and yellowish color. So in order to remove that color, you can put here some white object, and then with this picker you can pick the color from this white object, and then you get the correct color for your white balance. This is like one way to do it. Okay, so just bringing it back, this is the result that you're gonna get. This is the 5th preset for the sunset. I've put all those scenes together in one RAR folder, uploaded to my server, and you are able to download those presets by clicking on this exterior scene setups. So there's 5 for you. Okay, so the last one is I saw you did some tests with your HDRI material here. Well, you can send me your HDRI map, and I'll be able to make a tutorial next week how to do it. If not, you can always check the Peter's Gutierrez material tutorial here. He got really nice tutorial of applying his HDRIs. He's also making HDRIs, so I bought some of them. They're really nice. He had photographs, he had pictures in different intensities and combined this image into one piece. So every pixel providing actually light point. So you can see on those pictures, we can actually see shadows being created by HDRI. So that means those HDRIs are very good. As you see here, he renders it with Reinhardt, and the burn value is 0.25. So you can see by bringing the burn value down, you can get not that intense image exposure here. He also calibrating the frame buffer right here, and by importing HDRI, he's using a real pixel floating point RGB here, and he's adjusting the amount right here. So this is for the spherical environment, parameters, and as you see here, he applies his HDRI to the VRay sky dome, to the VRay light dome, light object right here. So he got really nice HDRIs. He got really nice results with his HDRI images. This is a very nice method to apply HDRI to the sRGB dome, to the VRay light dome. So here it is. Here's the link. Just click it and you can try to make this tutorial. If you did succeed, send me your HDRI and I walk you through next week how you can apply it to your scene, to your objects. In the meantime, you can download those exterior setups and make some tests with them. Okay, the next one is VJ. I really appreciate your tutorials and your helping. Transparent background format looks fine, but the composite sky is Photoshop. Okay. Pixelated and noisy. Okay, VJ attached me 2 images here. Let's just go ahead and have a look at those images right here. I'm gonna close those snapshots. Okay, so we can see that we can see the line here actually. This control line. Well, this control line comes from filter, anti-aliasing filter, and there's VRay got really strong ones. Blackman, Mitchell, and Katmuram. Those are basically anti-aliasing filters that create those lines, create this control line, because they make the object look really sharp. But if you're not using background in your image, they will also add a control line to your object. Well, they make it because you don't have any background image. If you had, it will be probably mixed with the background image. But if you render it like this without the background image and you're saving PNGs, and then you open them and you want to add a sky to them, this is what you want to get. So my advice to you, just go ahead and use other filters, like VRay Sync filters is a very nice filter, and you can also use Langsos filter, VRay Langsos filter. And well, just remember, if you're rendering interiors and you have like all image covered with something, like you have a background and everything, well, you can use Mitchell, Blackman, or Katmuram. Those are really nice sharpen filters. They make like your image look really sharp. But I like to add my sharpen in Photoshop. It basically brings the same result, sometimes even better, and it saves you lots of time, lots of rendering time. So in my renderings, I render big resolution and I just turn off the anti-aliasing filter. So in some different cases, like making a video, creating a video sequence, you would like to use video or soften or area, because they will actually smooth your image. They will smooth the action. You will get like really nice smooth result. But unless it's video or something like that, and you don't want to have this jittering or something, I mean, it's only still image, I would just recommend to shut this down and to render a big resolution, and afterwards to add sharpen effect in Photoshop. To see sharpen results and examples, just click on that link right here on this PDF file, and you can go and scroll down and see all the results here with area in different. You see area actually blurring the image here, and Katmuram, as you see here, actually adding really sharp results, like Mitchell getting. You can see the line here. You can see even the blue line here is going on some sort of a chromatic aberration effect. Here you can see it's like with 2 it's so overdone. So you can check those results. You can check those tests. You can see how differently each filter applies here to the image. So go ahead, see them, test them. That's the only way to know how it works, is actually to test and to see by yourself, not only watching the results. I mean, click in the render button and see how it works in 3D Max. This is how you learn it the best. Okay, so let's see the next one. Hi Alex. Paul unfortunately cannot make it tomorrow night. How to create a carpet in VRay using printing your models, colors, in Photoshop or CorelDRAW. Okay, okay, I'll show you how I make my carpet. I'll show you. Actually, here's like one old scene that I made a long time ago. Here's the carpet. It's a small but very basic carpet that that you can use for your bath, for your restrooms, or you know, I don't know, maybe in the kitchen, but no, the kitchen, no, not the kitchen, but the restrooms and the bathrooms, probably, yes. Okay, let me open this carpet here. You also be able to download it. Oh, and as you see here, I got this message because the carpet unit is in centimeters, and I made the previous settings in millimeters. So don't get stressed about it. Just, if you want, you can always change it right here from centimeters to millimeters, and to work with your settings. Okay, so here's my carpet. It's a basic plane, a length with 320 centimeters, width 420 centimeters. You need to first law for the good displacement is to make enough segments. So you see I got lots of segments, because displacement will be really good if you have enough segments on your model. I know it's not controversial. I know it's not like a law or something like that you must have, but I found that it just produces better results if you have enough segments on your model. Okay, so you can make it also quadratic if you like. 332, and here is supposed to be 42, so it will be like one segment per 10 centimeters. Okay, so it will be quadratic right here. Okay, good. Now I would like to add a shell. I would like to add more height, you know, like to have more mass on my object. So I'm adding a shell, as you see here. I'm adding a shell, and actually my carpet start being a box and not a flat plane, because flat planes, when you lie them on the ground, they just look very, very thin, and you want to have that mass. You want to have that feeling of the carpet. So adding a shell would be a nice solution for that. After that, you can add a map, and of course, as you see here, I add a UVW mapping. So this is how my material looks like. With as you see here, the name is grass displacement because it's actually grass. And this is the image that I applied. It's pretty small here. It's 500. This one, 512 on 512, it's quadratic. Those are the best size parameters for the displacement maps. If you want, of course, you can go higher. The bigger resolution, the better the results the VRay displacement will produce. 1024 on 1024 or 2048 on 2048 will be the best selection for that. So as you see here, I added the grass displacement on the bump. I did it just to see my map when I'm applying UVW mapping. It's not necessarily going to bring me any result, because what is going to bring me the results is the VRay displacement mode. And here it is. By default, it's being, I think, added on the 3D mapping, as you see here. So I switched it on 2D mapping, landscape. 2D maps is made for all the bitmaps, all the textures, everything that, all the images, everything is 2D. The 3D is made for the option of procedural materials in 3D Max. If I go right here, I can select, for example, dent or checkers or cellular or I don't know, like smoke. All of those materials being 3D because they can cover the whole box. They can follow the whole box even from inside. If you cut it in the middle, you will see the structure going through the box. So this actually do not happen with the 2D maps, because 2D maps is only allies. It only covers the box. It's not actually goes through the box. Through the model, through the object. So this is what happened with the cellular and all those procedural 3D Max effects. They just go through the whole model. And the best way to apply those displacement is by using 3D mapping. But if you use images like this one, 2D mapping, landscape, this is the option to use it. As you see here, I also added a amount of 1.5 centimeters to be a little bit higher than the original. I think the default, I think, is 1. And of course, as you see here, when I switch between 3 and 2, I get those parameters. Or it is like 2D mapping. When I switch to 3, I get those parameters control. But since I'm using the map, I'll be using this 2D mapping landscape. And in resolution, I need to put the resolution of the image that I'm using. Excuse me. So the image that I'm using is 512 pixels, bright, and the length. So it's quadratic. So this one will be the best choice for using this map. So of course you need to type the same exact resolution of the map. So it's 512. Okay. What we can do now is perhaps to render this and to see what we got. As you know, displacement maps, the bigger there is the bigger map, the bigger. Oh, sorry, the bigger the map, the more time you need to use to render. So to calculate the render. So if your map is covering a large amount of space, it might take a long time to distribute this render and to see any results, because first of all, VRay takes into consideration the whole geometry of displacement that's going to be distributed, and it might take long time just to prepare, just to calculate. So sometimes when I hit the render and I got the whole I don't know, like lots of grass or something like that, you know, like whole field full of displacement map, it might take like 1 hour only to prepare the render. But the render after all might go quickly, as you see here. But the preparation and the calculation of what's going to happen might take way longer time. So just to know that sometimes it's not stuck, it's just thinking of what you want to calculate. Okay. So as you see here, we got already nice results with this carpet. It's very, very basic. It's not one of the best carpets there is. There is like lots of different methods to do carpets. Like for carpet, you can use a VRay fur, or different other carpets with different displacement maps and everything, because this one actually is a grass and not a carpet, but I'm using for a carpet, and it gives me really nice results. So if you just let me show you the difference between having a shell and not having a shell. So your carpet will look like really, really thin here. Let me just render this part. So it will not look like a napkin or something like that, you know. It will look like more, will have more thicker. Right here you can see it's more thicker. It's more looks like a carpet, and not that thing. Okay. So you'll be able to download this. I'll make this this download carpet, this link here. I'll activate it and I'll connect it to the model on the server, so you'll be able to download it and to test your own results on this one. Okay. All right. We're going further. The next one is Alex Gomez. He wants to know how to build a good library of materials and what the difference between a good material and the bad one, and he's looking for settings. Okay, so the best way is to build your the library is to build your own library, because this is what the pros do. With every project, almost every project, I create my own unique textures. Of course, I reuse lots of textures that I have created before. You can also use different textures from different companies before you gather your own library. But I never saw professional artists that using some, I don't know, some others pre-made materials or something like that, you know, like if just takes Stanislav Orechov or Alex Roman or I don't know, Peter Gauthier, you will see that those guys, they sell also their materials, but they got their own library, their own materials that they satisfied with them, that they know they work for them, and they use them. They even reuse them in different projects, and this is what unique to those people, because you see, they say, "Wow, this is like really cool material, man. I mean, I wish I could have that, you know." And nobody got it. Nobody has that. Only this particular artist. So this is how you also define yourself from different people, from different artists, because what you see the most, the everyday work, same goes to objects, same goes to models. You can see and you say, oh, I know this, I know that. It's Evermotion, it's from, I don't know, this texture from E3D or 3D Palace, or I don't know who else create different textures, but this is what happened. It's not, you see and you say, oh, okay, it's not that. But when you see like a really good artist work, you say, wow, this is like really creation and not something every day. There's something unique that you don't see every day. So this is, in my opinion, this is the way to go. Of course, if you're limited on time and you don't want to spend much time in creating materials, you can use some pre-made materials from different firms, but you can always invest a little bit of time in every project by getting this particular texture or shader like really well done, and then you have it. You just put it aside, you categorize it, and you know what it is. This is like one of the most points in having library. You categorize it by I don't know, wood, parquet, concrete, and if you go in wood, you can go deeper, like oak or different other types of wood, so you know exactly where is what, and you will not spend time in searching for them, because what's what the most common mistake is, people buy lots of stuff or download lots of stuff, and then they got like huge library. But what the whole point if they cannot find this material in like, I don't know, a couple of minutes? They just sit and search and search and search, and then what happens eventually, they spend more time by searching the material instead of creating one. So this is something you also would like to avoid. This is something that can damage your productivity. So making your materials, you can make the photos, you can download them from internet. There's like really nice website called cgtextures.com. Oops, sorry for that. cg textures.com. Okay, in this website, oops, did I, okay, without the dash. Okay, so you can see there's lots of textures, paper, bricks. If you go here, for example, bricks, they all for free use. You need just to sign in. There's also a nice normal bump examples. So as you see here, they got small ones for free, and sometimes they got medium and large also for free, as you see here. But some of them say premium member, so you can get a membership and download like really high resolution. This is how you build your own library, basically. The whole point is to know what is what and how you find it quick and fast. Okay. Regarding the quality, and well, in different methods, every artist will be differently. So sometimes artists prefer to work every material, to tweak it in every scene, and to get this quality, because for example, in one scene this material can work like really good, but if you import it to the other scene, it will not be enough. It all depends on your light, on your rendering settings, and it's all touched together like in one piece. So there is stuff that can work for one scene, it doesn't necessarily can work for the other scene. So you can create like one render with like really good parameters and everything, but in the other scene it will not be enough, so you'll need to tweak it again. So there's like two methods for doing that. I'm actually doing what the most 3D artists doing. I'm working, I'm not tweaking the materials, I just work the VRay global illumination settings in general. So for the test renders, I work with those settings, VRay global settings with one, and when I want to make a high resolution render, a high quality render, I just go higher with those parameters to 2 or 3, depends on your computer. So I'll be able to increase all the quality of materials, shaders, all the samples, everything. I just go higher with one click without even tweaking each material. So it's basically up to you how you like to work. If you like to tweak every material separately, or just go with VRay global settings on higher parameter, and that's it. Okay. How do you start your scene? Which units measurement do you prefer using? We can show an example of setting up the scene. Yeah, sure. I'm using centimeters, as you saw. If I work for Europe, I'm using millimeters. If I work for Europe, I'm using centimeters. Probably in USA, they will work with inches. It's really up to you what are you looking for, what is the most convenient way for you to work, the most as I said, if you work with Russia, it will be millimeters, Europe centimeters, USA probably inches. Okay, so I have this room here, I have this scene here, and let me just import the WG, the ArchiCAD or AutoCAD drawing. As you see here, those icons from Autodesk Viewer, True View 2011. It's totally for free and you can download it in Autodesk website. So with the help of this viewer you can zoom in and you can view all your ArchiCAD drawings. If you're not using it, I would warmly recommend you to use it. It's really nice tool. So just go ahead and write DWG Viewer. And here you go, you got the link. You can press download, you can download it and install it. It's a nice viewer, got like really nice options and everything, and it's for free. That's the good part. Okay, so this is the drawing that I want to import to my 3D Max. So I'll press import here. As you know, we give 20 DWGs for practicing in our beginners course. As you see here, this is how it comes by default. It's not necessary to change it because incoming file will be in millimeters. I just press OK and I import it how it is. I'm not changing anything, because sometimes it might say millimeters, centimeters, and it might come with inches or whatever, so you don't want to rely on this one. The best one is you go to helpers here, tape, you press tape and you measure it yourself like this. Okay, so the measurement is 3 to 7 centimeters. It will be like 3000 something in millimeters. As we see here, it's 10 and another 80. So we're good. We're pretty good, because I didn't measure the ceiling here. If I go to the ceiling, it will be probably 3310. Okay, something like this. Let's see the tape. Yeah, it's 33 like this, 331. Okay, so here it is, 331. So we in good measurement. Well said. If you importing something and you are not in good measurement, what you need to do is to measure the correct. You can set up this to the correct size, and then what you need to do. There's another important thing before we continue. When you import your DWG drawing, the first thing you want to do is to select the whole drawing, to press here on the layers, press here create a new layer, and then you got everything on one layer, so you can hide it and unhide it by one click. And all of these layers you can delete. You just don't need them. They will mess you up. So try to work clean and try to name all your layers properly. So this one will be plain. It's an architectural plan, so I'll call it plan, and it will contain all the architectural drawing. Okay. So you can select it all. Right, like this. You can group it, or it doesn't matter, but if it's in wrong scale, you can scale it, like the whole drawing. You can scale it to the right measurement by using your tape, and then you can start your work after getting it into the right and the correct scaling. Okay, so I'm the correct scaling and I don't need to do that, but what I need to do right now is, if you see here, I got really different parts and that's like connected. So you can do it in AutoCAD. You need to clean it. You need to clean it and detach it and convert it, because each part here is representing the views. So it might be front view, this one might be back view, and left and right. So you need to detach them and make them, you know, like disconnect them and create each piece for each view. Okay, as you see here, it's like 1 point. So in my case, the first thing I want to do is to attach everything that in this view, because those are not being attached. Okay, and the second thing is I want to detach after I attach it into one piece. So I go into spline, I make an attachment by using vertices and attach option here, and when I attached everything, I want to detach it. So I go into spline, and right here I got detach button, so I press detach. You can name it front or back, but let's just name it 1 for this matter, and then we'll figure out where it really goes. So I'm gonna select it, I'm gonna bring the pivot point to the center, I'm gonna press center, and I'm going to deactivate the pivot points. Now I want to press the snap tool, so it will go snapping by the size of 5, you know, 85, 90, so I get exact 90 degrees rotation. And wait a minute, before I do that, let me just show you. I'll press Alt W to open this view. So I got here, I got big window and I got some corner, right? So in order to place it in the right place, I gotta go to the top view and to see where is the big window and the corner. So the big window is here and the corner is here. So I need to put it here. Okay, I need to put it right here. I'll go into the perspective view. I'll press Alt to move, and I'll move it up. And you see here the corner is supposed to be here, so I'll need to rotate it one more time like this, 180 degrees. Remember to use the snap tool here, and you're gonna position it somewhere here. Okay, so the same thing you need to do with all the other views here, and then you can name them and to put them in the right, because this one is front, so I can give it the name front. The second one will be probably back. So after you detach it and attach it and place it on the right place, you can start your modeling. Your modeling will be pretty simple with the line tool and the extrude option. But one of the important things here is you need to activate this snap toggle tool, and by the default in 3D Max is set to 3, so you need to change it to 2.5. And if you click left click, you need to change it from the grid points, because if you'll be on grid points, you'll be snapping to the grid points. You don't want to snap to the grid points, you want to snap to vertices. Here's the vertices. Okay, so why is the 2.5? 2.5 is actually, it takes into consideration the depth of the Z depth, you know, like if it's, you got 3 axes, right? X, Y, so I go on X, I go on Y, up and down, left and right, and I go into the depth, right? The Z depth. So some planes sometimes comes with different depth, and if you start to model it with the snap tool, on setup on 3, you'll be placing your vertices exactly in this depth. So you want to avoid it, because you want to place your wall will just go like this, you know. It will not be on one x axis, or sorry, z axis. So what you want to do is you want to place all your vertices on one axis, on one ground. So this is what you do. You press the 2.5. It takes into consideration the d depth, but when it places the vertices, it places them on one level. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna click, and I'm gonna position my my vertices here. I'm gonna create the first wall. All right, so oops. If you want to go back, you see you missed one. You just backspace, and you can correct it. Okay, and you press it here. Close line, yes. And I'll put an extrude modifier, and I'll go to the P view. After putting the extrude modifier, I need to give it a height. My height was 3310, and my ceiling was 80, so I'll put 3310 because I'm working. Oops. Sorry. It's the scale is in centimeters, and I'm working in millimeters, so I gotta go 331. So this is the correct height. I gotta change it here back to showing the correct height in millimeters and not in centimeters. So I'm just gonna do it like this here. Setup units, millimeters. Okay, so you see it's now all correct. 3301 millimeters. Okay, now I build my first wall. Now I'm gonna build the door actually here, and same method. Snap tool 2.5, closing the line, and this one from here to here it's 220, and it's this one 310, so it's in 800, 900 from the ceiling. It's very, very high ceiling because it's classic. It's classic building and classic apartment, so the ceiling is going to be very high. Press extrude here, and we said it's going to be 900, so 900 right here. And I'm going to close the snap tool, and I'm going to move it only on the Z axis right here. I'm going to position it exactly on the line with the ceiling, with the wall. So here we go. I created a wall. I created a backtop for the door. So you can continue modeling the second wall. Those lines are perfectly aligned, so don't worry, you will not get any light leaks or something like that here. Of course, it depends on your architectural drawing. If your architect didn't worked accurately and he didn't put the vertices, so you might probably have, but till today, after 8 years, I never got it because all the architects were very, very accurate. And the DWG drawing is all the vertices perfectly aligned, all the walls, all the ceilings, everything is perfectly being aligned, so there is no problem with doing that. This is the way to model. This is the way to set up your scene, to set up your importing DWGs and modeling everything. Probably in the future I will create some more tutorials on building the whole thing and set up the lighting and testing the renders. On this webinar, unfortunately, we don't have time to go through the whole process, so I just wanted to give you a quick shot of how doing it, how you can do it properly and quickly. Okay, so let's go. Next one is Schwarnendo, and I'm gonna close it. Let's see what it is here. I'm gonna close it as well. And hi Alex, sending you 2 images, 1 cam and 2 cam, part of final touches. The wooden material was supposed to be look like samples image 1 and 2, but it was not able to reproduce the scratches on the wood, neither in the Photoshop or in 3D. Okay, let's see that wood. Okay, this is the wood, so we can see there is a bump for the wood and there is a scratches on the wood going on as well. That you can make by making a double bump. Double bump will be probably, oops, to open 3D Max for that. I'll show you how to make a bubble bump. This is actually you can use a mix texture, and you can mix 2 bumps to create this double bump effect. Okay, so here it is. Okay, let's just render it as it is and see what we have here. Okay, nice illumination, nice bumps going on. Let's take this texture, and as you see here, we got bump in our slot. So what you want to do, you want to have this, for example, is your wood, and you want to have like 2 bump textures, and you want to mix between them 50-50. So maybe more, but this is how you do it. You go into bump texture and you press on the mix and press OK. So it says keep alt as a submap. You say OK. So you keep this texture, so this might be your wood, and you want to add another one. So let's add another tiles right here. And the whole point is, in order to see it really good, you need to go like really extreme, like black and white. So for example, if this is your scratches, you want to increase this contrast between the black areas and the white areas. So you get it. So let's see how it's been applied. Whoops. Okay, this is the new texture, the black and the white. You see how it is applied. Okay. Now the mix amount is the mix amount between those 2 textures. So here you have, for example, the wood. Here you have a scratches. And if you put 50, it will be 50-50 mixed between them. So you can basically let's render and see what we've got. So you see we've got our original texture, and we can see that we got here also the second bump textures going on. So basically, if you want to go higher here, or lower, if you want, for example, this texture to be dominant, so you can put here like 80, and then those bumps will be stronger. So you see it's like stronger here. But if you want them less, you can put here 30, and you can render, and you can see that they've been like really, you can barely see them. So the mix amount actually control the mix between the bumps. Okay. Right, let's go to the next question. Also, there is a yellow tint in the bottom of the light, as I have used warm lights. The ceiling is also yellowish, but I wanted both to be white. Okay, so you want to make this ceiling to be white. Let's see that ceiling here. Okay, let's see all the images. Okay. This is the spots I see that you have here, right? It's a glass milk. Okay, yeah, so you have those yellowish with yellowish tint. So how you can fix it? How you can fix it is by opening this in Photoshop. For example, duplicating the layer, go into layer adjustments, hue saturation. Oops, sorry. Image adjustments, hue saturation. You go into yellow, and you just remove the saturation. You can like maybe add a little bit of lightness, something like that. Okay. Then you add the mask, and you just bring back, or in other words, you remove from this layer the saturation here, the unsaturated, and you leave your layer only with saturated, only with this effect. So you have basically two layers. Oops. You have two layers applied like this. Okay. So this is basically how you remove the yellowish. The lower portion of the light are blackish. Well, this is because you have. This is because let's see your material. Your refraction here is not transparent. It's supposed to be almost white. If you want to get where is this milk glass? If you want to get this sort of effect, you gotta do your glass very transparent. But if you want to make it like blurry like this, you have a parameter of glossiness in the refraction. If you use the glossiness, if you lower it down, I mean, here you did the blurriness for the reflection, but the blurriness for the transparency, you can make it here in glossiness. So go ahead, make this almost white, pure white, not white, but almost white, and lower down a little bit of this glossiness, and then you will get this blurry effect for sure. Okay, you might also put here in the fog multiplier 0.002, and to adjust a little bit beige color, like a little bit yellowish, between gray, yellowish, and brown, somewhere there in between, for the fog color. And you also get this milk glass effect here. All right. There is another way to do it in Photoshop. So you can add a glow here, filter glow. Oh, it's probably on 16-bit channel, so we gotta switch to 8-bit channel, and only then you can add distort diffuse glow. You can increase the glow here. Okay, something like this. Alright, so here you go, you got it. If it's too strong, you can just Control-Shift F and you can decrease it. So this is one way to do it. I know you got it's not that satisfying. You can control a little bit, maybe just to add more exposure to it, you know, just to have a lighting feeling, like it's lighting and stuff, something like that. Yeah, it's way better. Looks way better now. But I would warmly suggest you to re-render and make your material properly. Okay, as for all those models, I would replace the chairs because they do not seem like high quality model, and they standing on your front foreground. So basically you can put those chairs at the background, but foreground, when it's so close to the camera, you just notice that this is not a good model. So you might wanna replace it. All right. or just add details, you know, and make better textures. If this is supposed to be leather, it do not looks like a leather, so you wanna make it better, right? The tiles in Photoshop, yes, I can see those tiles here. First of all, I need to see the texture. You're saying that your clone tool is not working well, and you might wanna crop the edges, because I see the only problem is going here on the edges. I'm not sure you can resolve it with the clone tool. I would warmly recommend you to go to the YouTube, type seamless YouTube, type seamless textures. Here's one tutorial. It's a 2 parts tutorial. There's the second part, and you can see how it's done. I had a good tutorial for seamless, but unfortunately I couldn't find it. I'll search more, and as soon as I'll find it, I send it to you. But there's lots of different other techniques and methods and people showing to do. I mean, it's basically the same. Some of the artists just explain it better, some of them less, but the procedure is the same. As soon as you're gonna understand it, you will be able to do seamless textures from everything, even fixing your floor and stuff like that. Okay, so you can send me this texture. I can view and give you the proper solution. Right. Okay, the exterior. Send me also the exteriors here. And let's see your exterior. Exterior is right here. Okay, here we go. Well, the first comment for this one is going to be that in order to make good background isolation, you should use the alpha channel or the background or the atmosphere passes, because they are really good. If you zoom into this, there's something wrong with the anti-aliasing here. Something jittery going on. I don't know what it really is. I don't know what filter you have used for making this, but it doesn't look that accurate. Okay, so I'll try to use that in order to isolate the sky, but I do not promise that it will provide good results. Okay, as for your scene here, by opening it from the first look, you can use the carpet displacement, especially grass displacement, to make your grass here look better. And well, for the illumination, everything, it's pretty okay. Some of the apartments looks a little bit empty, so you can put maybe some table, maybe a chair, maybe to put small details here and there, just to make it more, just to bring a little bit more life to that composition. All right, and well, the cars looks also the same, so I mean, you have only like 2 cars, 3 cars, so maybe just change a little bit the color so they will not look the same, because this one, like 1, 2, 3, looks really the same. But it's not bothers me. It's not that big issue. So your question was that please find work in progress. During the light and through, I would love to boost up in post to impress the client. So in order to impress the client, you need to add some really nice background. So for doing that, we can select it, maybe we can use select similar, like this. Oh, it's actually pretty nice option. Double click in order to discard the background. Whoops. and we need to invert the selection. So we have inverted this like that. All right, and now we need to bring our map. So where it is, our map. Let's see if we have a good sky for this one. Let's just close 3D Max and close those guys here. You can close also the DWG viewer and see if we got a nice sky. Let's take this image. Okay, and let's put it here. Alright, here you go. Enlarge it. It's not the best way to do it because you get this this noise here. You can use noise reduction. So you can put in reduce noise, so it will get smoother, like this. Just remember, in this noise reduction filter, you can apply it several times to make your image smooth. So just go ahead, you can play with it. The parameters of this noise reduction is the strengths. So the strength, you want to go to give the most strength, the most smooth result. Present details, you don't want to present any details, you want to put it on 0. Reduce color noise, yes, you want to have it like full reduced color noise. And sharpen, you don't want to have any sharpen, so just put it on 0, and you'll have a better smoother look for your image. Okay, the second thing is find your horizontal line, and do not overdo it. Something like this, could be nice. It works on your horizontal line. Okay, so let's see. As you can see, we still have this small line here of white, so we did not actually really isolated the background. So I'll try to apply this layer mask, and maybe to try and use another texture that I didn't use, like this one here. Okay, and by selecting, select inverse, and apply another mask, I can maybe reduce it. Disable, yeah, I reduced it a little bit. Enable, but just minimum amount, so it's not that biggie. I think the alpha channel will do the work. Or just use PNGs, render PNGs, and you will get your building without any background, and you won't have to mess with isolating and stuff like that, right? So apply layer mask here, and the next thing you want to do is to correct your exposure and the curves, so you can add a little bit more of a dramatic look, something like that, and to give a little bit more of lighting feeling, that there is a light in those. So you go in your highlights a little bit higher here, and what you want to do is also, you can try to fix your exposure, maybe to darken a little bit the whole environment, and to make a little bit more of exposure, something like this. You can always choose to preview if it's good or bad. You can also add a little bit more contrast to that. Let me just, I think it's a little bit heavy here. Okay, let's just add a little bit of contrast, maybe a little bit of lighting, something like that. Okay, and now it's a good time to make a colorization. So you flatten your image, press OK, double click to discard the background, And I want to show you some nice technique called cross processing. It's actually one of my friends showed me that on Skype. He actually contacted me and said, "Hey man, I gotta show it to you. You don't have this in your tutorials. You gotta see that cross processing. You gotta show it to your to your users, to your students." So by selecting the curves, you go down on the shadows. Let's start it from the beginning. You gotta go and you select your curves, and then you have this channel here. So you want to go and apply this cross processing by each channel. So I'll be able to select the RGB and to go down with the dark tones and to go higher with the high tones. So this is the colorization I get by using this on the red channel. On the green channel you do the same, and you see already we got really nice natural colors, and it's sort of a low-mo effect, if you know what I'm talking about. The photographers were doing it by using different form of chemicals and creating their images. So on the blue channel you just go a little bit higher with your blue input, on the dark tones a little bit lower with your high tones. Okay, and this is the effect that you get. Alright, this looks nice. Try to not overdo it, not to do it like really blue. Okay, so this one looks really way better. So just to show you, we went through this, got some really yellowish, reddish, greenish. It's not the evening atmosphere, because in the evening the colors are like purple, blue, and then by doing this we can match the whole perspective, the whole background and foreground and the whole building to the image. Okay, you might want to go higher with your parameters, because I can see that you start getting here artifacts. So go higher on your irradiance map, on your hemispheric subdivisions. I don't know, like 100 maybe, or 50-50, 100-100. Those are the groups that you go with your samples and hemispheric subdivisions, in order not to lose too much of a detail and to keep the percentage, the high quality of the image. Okay, so the next thing that you might want to do is to add a little bit of photorealistic aspects. I'm gonna close the grid here. I'm gonna add here the distortion. It makes a little bit smoother the image. I'm gonna add a little bit of chromatic aberration, or maybe I'll go the other way today, like a little bit of yellow and a little bit of red, something like this. I can see it's applied here already on the wall, so you don't want to overdo it. Don't go beyond 7, because it's more for the look and less for the feeling. And as you see here, we can add a vignette for the camera objective distortion, something like this. It's good. Okay, so we went from something that looked like this, we went to something that looked like that. So as you see, it's pops out the image, it pops out the building, and the lights feels really live. Okay, the last thing is, when you apply this in Photoshop, you just remember to cut those edges of 1 pixel, because if I zoom in and I go like left and I go up, I can see here 1 pixel being, I don't know why, but this is what the chromatic aberration does. It's actually adds you. I don't have it on. Oh, I actually have this on this side. So yeah, just remember to crop it 1 pixel. Well, you can do actually by scene canvas and selecting pixels. Yeah, I know it will ruin your so what you can do, maybe you can duplicate your image and then you just enlarge this background image a little bit like this, and you're all set. You don't have this, you don't have to crop. Okay, all right, so you'll fix that. Okay, I'm gonna save this image, I'm gonna send it to you, and save image. I'm gonna send it to you so you'll be able to see how I did it, and you'll be able to try to achieve the same result as I did in this image. I think it's nice, although the artifacts, I think for like test renderings and everything, it's for first previews, I think it might make a good impression. Okay, so I did save it, right? I'll just JPEG. I saved it. Yeah, copy, save. Okay. All right. Here we go. This was the last question. I hope I answered you. I showed you a lot of techniques. I'm gonna save this. I'm going to upload it to my server, and of course I'm going to provide this with passwords, so you'll be able to see and download it and watch it over and over again and see all those techniques that I'm showing here and to test them on your visualizations. Of course, I'll be sending you this PDF file with all the links and everything, so you'll be able to download the exterior scene setups and the carpet, of course. Send me your works, send me your questions, and if you have something you can ask me right now, but if not, I wish you a really good weekend, and have a good rest, and send me your works, send me your questions. I'll be very glad to review them, to answer them, and I see you in the next webinar. So this was Alex, your VRay guide. See you soon. See you probably next week. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good one.